Greetings and salutations, ladies, men, folk, and all other viewers out there. Welcome to another episode of Game Break, an ongoing series where me and my crew play some video games while we're taking a break from our creative endeavors. I am Charles, coming to you today with another episode of Everlasting Summer. Now, last time round, we actually got to see a bit more of the Pioneer Camp, checking out some of the club rooms, the library, and the infirmary, which was a bit odd. And we left things off just before a game of cards was about to take place, and we made a bet with Elisa that we would win so that she wouldn't spread dirty lies about us. So let's dive right in and see just what the heck is going on and how are we going to win this game so we don't get in bigger trouble. Load. And we're back. Inside, everything was ready. A few pioneers stood here and there chatting. The tables were moved out of the way to make room for players and spectators. I looked around. Something was going on in the far corner. When I came closer, I saw a large piece of paper with a diagram drawn on it. My name was among the players. Great, so it's going to be a tournament style. Who came up with all this? I patted Electronic, who was standing near. Well, of course, I was your most humble servant. I still don't have confirmed voices for these people. He bowed to me jokingly. This made me uncomfortable to the point of squirming. And why in the world am I among the players then? I was disappointed. A few seconds ago, I thought I still had a slim chance to evade this tournament. Then I wouldn't have to fear Elisa's revenge for losing the bet with her. But no, this style, we'd have to beat at least 2 people. Goodness. But now that hope was gone. It was pure coincidence. Yeah, right. Coincidence. Except that I was already acquainted with every one of the contestants. While there were a few dozen other pioneers standing in the room. I was seized by anxiety. It's the feeling of being watched while standing in an empty room with no windows or doors. Will there be a prize? I asked him lazily. I wanted to distract myself with a pointless conversation. Electronique was just about to answer when Ulyana came out of nowhere and started jumping around him. Prizes! Prizes! I hear something about prizes! So if it comes up with a reference and I try to see the whole thing, it just auto-skips. That's kind of frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. A what? No! You'll understand when you grow up. She made a wry face and jabbed Electronic in the ribs. So what about the prize? Well, I don't know. It's not up to me. He made a helpless gesture. Really? If they came up with this stupid game, at least they could give the winner a chocolate medal or something. Ulyana suddenly jumped and raced off to somewhere. I wish I was that optimistic. So, what about the rules? Wait a bit. Not everyone is here yet. I looked around the canteen. Elisa, Slaviana, Lena, Miku, and Shurik were here. Seems like everyone is here. Not everyone. Xenia isn't here. Does he feel uneasy, or is it just me? She's not here, so what? Pick someone else instead. No, I can't do that. He answered slowly. I decided not to ask exactly why he can't do this. Well, go fetch her or something. I don't know. He can't go. He's the host of the event. The camp leader appeared as if from nowhere. But Olga Dmitrievna, Electronic whined. Semyon, will you go? Right, Semyon? She looked at me and smiled. Of course. Who else? Where is she? In the library, I guess. Okay. I dragged my feet towards the door. Please hurry. What's Electronic's problem anyway? Maybe he has a crush on her or some, I don't know. Night is coming soon. I was going to take my time, so I slowly paced towards the library. But I found Xenia before I even expected. She was sitting on a bench at the square, staring at Genda, who was silent as always. What are you doing here? Everyone is looking for you. Sitting here, as you can see. She frowned. Well, let's go. I don't want to. She looked away. Why not? I don't want to. I sat beside her. Listen, I don't like the idea of this contest myself, but we can't let everyone down. I surely didn't sound like myself there. A couple of days ago, I wouldn't even think of saying something like that. Xenia looked at me with surprise on her face. So everyone is waiting for me? Isn't that exactly what I said? Yes. I won't go anyway. She frowned and hid her face. But why? I gestured with my arms, wondering. I don't know how to play cards. So what? Same problem here. Then how can you play? What, you can only do things that you read about in books or something? Of course. She was surprised. Then what if you end up in Antarctica and have to rely on hunting polar bears to survive? Polar bears don't live in Antarctica. Xenia smiled. Doesn't matter. It's just an example. Come on, it's not like someone's life depends on the result. She took her time to think. I just don't want to let anyone down. Right, I agreed sarcastically. And don't you think anything funny about that? I didn't get what she meant, but anyway. Obviously everyone has their weak spots. In a minute, we were both back at the canteen. Everyone looked at Electronic. So, he cleared his throat. Each round consists of one game. In case of a draw, you replay the game. After this, the loser drops out and the next round begins. Since the number of volunteers, he looked at me, since the number of players is just 8, we'll only have 3 rounds. Is everything clear? The crowd cheered. We have a crowd now. And what are the prizes? The prizes, what are they? Ulyana, cut it out. Slavia stepped forward and tried to catch Ulyana. Yeah, good luck with that. I won't rest until the prize is mine. Seemed like this girl alone had enough energy for a warp jump to Alpha Centauri. Really? It's an odd phrasing to choose, but okay. Prizes, prizes! She repeated it over and over. Stop it. Slavia tried to reason with her. Electronique seemed to be getting dizzy from all this running around. Poor guy. Let's start already, I said calmly and added to Ilyana, or you won't get any prizes. Looks like my argument got through to her, so she took her place. Slavia followed her, giving me a grateful smile as she passed. The pioneers finally settled down. I approached the table that Lena sat behind. You don't mind? She looked up and blushed. Don't worry, I don't know the rules myself. And how can I be sure that it's not only myself? I sat down. Turns out we'll have to play the first round together. Yes. Finally, Electronique started to explain the rules. Look at the cards carefully. There are exactly 6 of them in front of you. I hope everyone here knows how to count. Now you can look at them. I can't see 2 of them, you're in the way. After everyone had a look at their cards, Electronique moved on. The rules here are similar to poker. I hope everyone knows how to play. I know the rules, but wasn't so sure about the others. First of all, it's a top card, then a pair, then 2 pairs, then 3 of a kind, and so on. No flushes or straights, though. In first round, you choose a card which you would like to take from your opponent. In turn, your opponent can choose to swap 2 of his cards around twice. Or he can choose not to do so, if he doesn't need the card which you're taking. Take a note here that your opponent can see which cards are trading places. In the next step, your opponent takes a card he chooses, and so on. I think it's pretty clear. What? It wasn't too clear to me. It might have been the wording on that one, but even that kind of went over my head a bit. Hey, you Einstein! Ulyana yelled at him from her table. I didn't get a thing! You'll figure it out as we go. Electronique went to the table with the diagram, leaving Ulyana to smolder in solitude. You go first. I hoped I could get my mind around the game fast enough. So we got 9, Jack, 10, 5, King, 4. So we need a high card. Or it's basically poker, but without the straights or flushes. So I guess 4 of a kind would be ideal. So if we could get 3 kings, we'd be all set. Lena, more perplexed than usual, reached out for my cards. In the middle of the table, her hand stopped. Will you? Oh yeah, I should be protecting my card. What was it Electronique said? To try to confuse my opponent, I can swap 2 of my cards. Twice. Or I can choose not to. Should I protect it or not? By the way, I can also agree and give her the card she can choose straight away. Otherwise, Lena can change her mind and take another card if she wants to. Or she might not. Wait, we're actually playing this game? Oh my goodness. Crap. Defense, so... Sure, take the 5, whatever. It's one of my lower cards, so... Do I click the X? Okay. Things were becoming clear. Or at least comprehensible. Now it's my turn. I can take back my card from her, or I can choose another one. Doop. Lena can try and protect her card, but if I watch her closely, I can take the card I choose regardless of her movements. Okay. Let's do that one. Let's still do that one. 3. What am I going to do with a 3? I made it. Electronique, who was silently watching our game, nodded in approval. Looks like now we're getting somewhere. Now, during the round, opponents trade cards 3 times. Keep an eye on each other. Penetrate your opponent with your eyes. Nothing else. I chuckled. Penetrate. What's so funny? Oh, never mind. I tried to keep a straight face. He stared at me for a moment, then moved on. And then we turned the cards up to see whose hand is better. Electronique went back to his diagram. Oh, new hand. She wants my ace. I don't have anything worthwhile. Yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? Take it. Try this one. I still want this one. I said I want that one. Hey, I have a pair. Yeah, sure. I have a pair, so I'm happy. I'm gonna do that. Let's try that. Still try that. You're not really moving them. Hey, I got another ace. I'm not really gonna fight you on this. You can have the card you want. I mean, I have a pair of 5s, so I at least got something. How many rounds are there? Let's change it up. Why not? Meh. Queen. Who wins? I got a pair of 5s. You just have a king. So I guess I win. Yay. I actually won. Seriously, it's hard to play a game that was made up on the spot and not by yourself either. But I won. Although the moment of glory was tainted by the fact that it was Lena who was the loser. She's not very confident in general, but now she's lost. I'm too embarrassed to even look at her now. Probably I should have lost to boost her self-esteem. But I have a bet with Elisa. Meanwhile, Electronique proudly announced that the first round is over. A list of those who made it into the second round appeared on the scheme after a little while. Semi-final pairs consisted of Elisa versus Xenia and Ulyana versus me. A doomed sigh escaped me. Ulyana immediately took a seat in front of me. Ha! She glared at me, grinning. How did you manage to outplay Lena? Cheated, perhaps? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm not you. I just know how to play cards. Sassy. At least that's what I want her to believe. And how could you outplay Shurik? Ah. Ulyana waved her hand, showing how easy it was. I threatened to join his club. Had to do it. She grinned yet again. Would you hold back too? Not a chance. Ugh. Then I'll choose which card I give to you myself. Did you hear the rules? Ah, screw them. Looked like she really didn't care. Okay, but I choose the cards to give to you too. Deal. Inspired by my victory in the first round, I ventured upon this dangerous move. Could have argued, appealed to Electronique, and eventually had my own way, but somehow I felt truly confident in the outcome of this round. Yes, we were breaking the rules, but I was in the same boat as Ulyana. I looked up at Electronique. It's time to begin the semifinals, he commanded. I carefully checked my cards, ensuring that Ulyana couldn't see them. Oh, we're really doing this. Okay. So I can just capture... No, it's her turn to capture. Oh, because I get to choose now. Okay. I don't have anything worthwhile. You can have your own card. Take that one. Okay. Give me a pair of jacks. Okay. Well, I don't really need panties on my screen, so take that one. You're gonna give me this one. That doesn't really help me. Have a 6. And you're gonna give me... Oh! 2 pair. So 6, 8, 9, 9, 10. I gave her a pair of 9s altogether, but not enough. Hey, this isn't fair. You shouldn't have held back and lost. She angrily puffed up her cheeks, making her resemble Humpty Dumpty. Let's have a rematch, but this time you have to hold back. Got it? It wasn't only me who heard her, but the entire room. Even Electronique. No rematches allowed. Ulyana completely ignored him. You have to lose. I didn't have the slightest intention of playing with you for a second time, I said calmly. Fine, you want it that way? Yes, that way. Then I'll put the word out that you've sexually harassed Elisa. Oh. Why do I get the feeling that I've been set up and that I'm going to get screwed over in this no matter what happens? So, if I let her win, then I lose to Elisa and get that. But if I don't, chances are I'm going to lose to... Or even if I beat Elisa, then she's going to do this anyway, so I'm screwed no matter what. She whispered. What? I leaned over the table and gave her a menacing glare. So, you've been eavesdropping. I just heard it while passing by. Anyway, it's much better to play an extra round than... She can certainly do that. I sighed and appealed to Electronique. Not a problem. We'll have a quick rematch. Whatever. He shrugged. So the rematch has started. It's still pretty random. Take your card. You're on it. What are you giving me? You're giving me a king. Okay. Take the towel, girl. And you'll give me a cat girl. Okay, well. I got nothing really to work with here. You gave me a cat girl? Have another cat girl. And you're giving me that card back. I guess it wasn't that useful. You have a pair of 3s. Good for you. I lose. I was screwed no matter what. At least I won a single round, purely by chance. I left the canteen. It was still too early to sleep, and a short walk looked like a good idea. Where should I head to? Oh, I get to choose. Wait, okay, so we're here. That's too close. No, we're not doing infirmary. Boathouse might be cool. Bus stop, that's kind of pointless. Not really in the mood to be a scene kid. Why are those all gathered together? Beach. I don't even know if my guy can swim, so maybe we should stay away from water for the moment. Let's do this. It was certainly too late for football, and so the pitch was empty. I spent a couple of minutes there listening to the silence without any luck, and then headed back. For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. There was no light in the window, so Olga must have been sleeping already. Strangely enough, she waited for me yesterday. I entered the cabin, quietly stripped and laid on the bed. When you think about it, my situation hadn't gotten any clearer today. In fact, I spent the whole day doing useless stuff. I would have never even thought about doing something like this in the real world. Although I had plenty of time, how much time I would have here in total is still a mystery. Maybe an eternity, or maybe there are only a few minutes left. I just didn't want to think about the past, about how I got to this camp. For the first time in a long while, I felt really tired. Not only emotionally tired, but also physically tired, psychologically tired, and God knows how else tired. I just wanted everyone and everything to shove off, starting with my own thoughts. I wanted this mess somehow resolved by itself, or at least without my active participation. And what if I'm stuck here? Then I'll have to get used to it. So, just like that, I'm not ready. My consciousness slowly drifted away from me, and it became progressively harder to concentrate on something distinct. Perhaps it's better to wait until tomorrow. I rolled over and fell asleep. Hey, we made it to day 3. And seeing as we've barely really gotten into this episode, no, let's keep rolling. The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted both physically and mentally. It happened to me all the time. You see incredibly lucid images in your dream, as if you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well-paid actors, and multi-million-dollar visual effects. And then you wake in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do, to restore the images shown by my relaxed brain, but that part of my memory was empty, either archived or formatted completely. It's 7 a.m., according to the clock. I seem to be an early bird today. Olga was still sleeping, wrapping tightly in her blanket. Wrapping so tightly in a hot summer? I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. I'd better shave. Strange idea. Before twice a month was enough, but now nothing depends on the way I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So, breakfast can't start earlier than 9. This means I have plenty of time, which I can spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me brace up and come back to reality, whether all these events could be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. When I returned to the cabin, Olga was already up, and thankfully dressed. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. "Good morning, Semyon." Morning. Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing, and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. "How come you got up so early?" "It just happened." "And no neckerchief once again? Let me." "I'll do it myself, not a big deal. I'm on my way to the canteen." "I don't think so. Do it now." "Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast?" "How could I ever forget?" "And what's the lineup going to be about today?" "We'll discuss the agenda for the day." "So what's the agenda?" Frankly speaking, I didn't care for what might be on the agenda for our courageous pioneer group. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I could manage to avoid enemy locations. "You'll find that out at lineup." She gave me a wily smile. "Olga, you know, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather... well, you know. I believe that's okay to miss the lineup once. It could get all nasty if I fail to control it right there." Where did all this courage come from? "You have 5 more minutes." "I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please?" "Sure, I'll try, but just in case it all goes down." "Oh, fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course we have a ball in the evening." "Wait, what?" "Watch yourself. You must take part in the camp activities today." "You bet. Definitely. Now I'd rather..." "Come on, let's hit the road." I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, but the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do with the lineup. After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life today. Cleaning and organizing, that's not what someone in my situation should be doing. 2 days have passed and I'm still right where I started. All of the residents seem to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but these peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. They seem to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical. The illogical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already, somewhere. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their familiar lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand that the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay, but this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of the Semyon camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved in what's happening to me? can they give me any answers? Or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? It seemed I overdid it a bit with the thinking there's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Uh-oh. Or even inside the canteen. How long was I thinking? Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9. That's even better. 2's company, 3's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at an amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Having a breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace. Or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly someone grabbed me by the sleeve. Xenia. Xenia, the librarian. Get your meal and come. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't this a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. I feel bad because I beat Lena last night. Oh, that sounds really wrong out of context. I beat her at a card game last night. But I didn't promise her. No, I don't quite get you, but Lena seems a little more straightforward. I was sure that Lena wouldn't mind if I sat next to her. Hold on, wait a second. Sorry, maybe later. Maybe dinner. I gently loosened my sleeve from her grip and headed to the farthest corner of the canteen. Xenia was shouting something in my direction, but I tried to ignore her. Hi, good morning. Having heard the librarian shouting, Lena had been stealing glances at me for a while. Morning. Strangely enough, she didn't blush, but smiled instead. Would you mind if I join you? I'll get my meal and be back in no time. Yes, sure. In a minute, I was already sitting in front of her with a simple set of plates on a tray, porridge, 2 poached eggs, 4 pieces of wheat bread, a boiled sausage, and a glass of compote made of unknown fruits and berries. Have a nice meal. Thanks. I was trying to eat as neatly as I could, no chomping, smearing the food, or spilling the compote over myself. Good idea. It seems that eating like a human and not like a hog was not that hard at all. As usual, Lena remained silent, which means I should start the conversation. Going to the dance tonight? Probably. She was silent for a while. And you? And you? I don't know yet. Though I didn't want to go there at all. I didn't like dance parties since my school days. Why so? What do you mean? My mind was still far away in my school times. Why don't you want to go? I didn't say I don't want to. Oh, okay then. But if you're inviting me... Lena turned red and looked away. I don't really... Sorry, just kidding. I felt confused. I better not joke like that. Fine, Lena said indifferently, and focused on her food while her face turned even more red. Why am I stuck on this dance as if we have nothing else to talk about? But wait, is there actually anything... By the way, maybe you know what Xenia wanted to ask me? Huh? I mean, when I just came in, she wanted something from me. I don't know. I see. The conversation reached a dead end, so I tried to seem fully focused on my meal. Lena finished her breakfast first. Well, she was there first. I should go. See you later. See you. I was finished chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a twisted pear cable. I wonder if they have internet access here. I guess not. Pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food. It's time to search for some clues. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Uh-oh. Hi there, Pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy. It sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me to make an inventory of the supplied medicine, which arrived today. What? Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard? But what word could be confused with both? Hey, it's Lena. Hi again. Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do. Medicine, huh? Supplied today. But Olga told me that no bus would arrive in the next couple of days. So there were visitors to our camp today? Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? Just curious. All right then, Pioneer. Keep giving a pause before Pioneer. Are they trying to do an innuendo, or does she actually know something? So tonight after dinner, you'll be here. Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. Strange, she seemed more spirited during lunch. No way, there are lots of boxes, and a Pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer? She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. I can't lie about every single thing. That'll just blow up in my face. Nice. That's how a true Pioneer should answer. Even after those words, I barely came a step closer to the be prepared, always prepared motto. Then you can go. I looked at Lena, who was still staring at the ground. I guessed all that time she spent staring at the ground was enough to learn everything there is to know about the life and habits of different insects. Plus, Lena liked to read, so she probably read many biological, botanical, and so on books. Perhaps she wants to become an entomologist. Where will you head next? Lena's words drew me away from the obscure thoughts. We'd been standing at the square for some time, and my speculations about Bugs' lives were only an attempt to escape this awkward situation. Though, why did I see it as awkward?
Just don't forget, alright?
Don't forget what?
Well, tonight after dinner, at the infirmary.
Her face got a slightly grumpy look. No way, that's impossible. Alright, right after dinner, I'm at your service. I thought too late, at my words, Lena blushed even harder. I need to find a way to ease this situation. Why did the nurse ask you to do it?
I don't know. I was just sitting on the bench and reading a book when she came and...
It's smart to ask a reliable person who would never say no. Okay, well then, after dinner.
Okay. I'll be off then.
Yes, sure. She walked off somewhere beside the clubs and I just stood at the square for some time. So, what's next? I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my phone. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful. Though having a wristwatch is much easier. Suddenly I heard a different tune, which was cutting through the usual noise of the camp. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. 3 repeating chords, no more. But this melody still felt somehow warm, as if a vacuum tube-based audio amplifier was used. Could there be such a luxury here? The sound was definitely coming from somewhere near the stage area. Yeah, we haven't checked that out yet. I wonder who that could be. I'm actually kind of curious, because this seems a little out of place. Coming to the stage area, I caught sight of Elisa on the stage. Ah, crap. Really, we gotta go with that shot? The girl was giving it all. With her eyes closed, she placed one of her legs upon the speaker and was swaying her body with the rhythm of the music. I couldn't recognize the melody, but I was pretty sure that I'd heard it before. Probably something from Soviet rock. Could have named a dozen bands in this genre right off the bat, but I was hardly an expert. The song seemed really simple, literally just a 3-chord progression. Probably even I could have played it, given some time to practice. I wonder where Elisa got her playing skills. In the USSR, such music had never been nationally acclaimed. The future rock star wasn't taking any notice of me. It was like she was trying to become one with the music, to resound in every note, in every bar, in every triplet. Rock heroes of the 80s instantly came to mind. Many of them were devoted to the music in a similar way. If she got dressed in something more suitable for that period's fashion instead of her pioneer uniform, no one would notice the difference. Her performance was coming to an end. Picking out a last couple of chords, Elisa finally noticed me.
Did you like it?
She doesn't seem as surprised as I would have expected. Yeah, that was cool.
As if you could do any better.
Smiled Elisa slyly. I'm not saying that I can do it better. I'm not a pro in music.
No doubt.
Yep. I didn't know what to tell her next and was heading on my way.
Wait a minute.
What?
Heard about the evening dance party?
I thought it was a ball.
Ball, dance party, what's the difference?
She frowned. Yes, I did, and so what?
Are you going to go?
After throwing those words, she turned away. I'm not sure. And you?
What am I going to do there? watch a herd of morons.
There was some truth in Elisa's words, but this open disrespect surprised me. It's clear that it's not the idea of a ball that she hates, but why?
What do you mean by why?
Well, why don't you want to come? Dance parties ought to be fun.
Do you really think so?
Annoyance flashed in her voice. I don't know, but I thought that you would.
Never liked them.
She interrupted me.
There's absolutely nothing to do at such parties.
I see. So what's your plan then? I asked just to keep the conversation going.
I'll just carry on practicing.
What are you practicing?
The song, dumbass! You even heard it!
Lisa had gone totally mad. A few more wrong questions and I will have to run for my life. That's a scary face. Who wrote that song?
I did.
So you wrote it by yourself?
By myself.
Cool. An awkward silence hung in the air. Okay then.
Don't you want to listen?
Didn't I just hear it?
That's not what I meant.
She pouted.
The whole song. It's just a jam for now.
Ah, come on, do it then.
Not right now.
Well, don't do it then. I felt uncertain about what she wanted from me.
You mean you don't want me to play?
Seems like I frustrated her. I got ready for her to smash the guitar on my forehead or something even worse. But there was only an upset expression on Elisa's face. I want to... I told you.
Come here tonight then. I'll play it for you.
For me? How cute. Tonight is the dance party.
You said that you wouldn't go.
I didn't say that. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to go, but messing around with Vache was no good either. If you say that out loud, you're gonna get in trouble. Olga won't like it.
Screw her.
Scary face, said Elisa, getting steamed up. Crap. So it's either the dance party or listen to her. I don't know. Dance party has more people, so more options to figure out what's going on. If it's just her, I may get stabbed in the face or elsewhere, so all of this wasn't really what I'd planned.
Oh, screw off. Not that I was really interested myself.
She clucked her disapproval and turned away. I was just wondering if the decision I made was a right one when suddenly I was interrupted by a ringing calling the pioneers for lunch. I looked toward the canteen. I suppose it's time to go. Hunger is a sharp thorn. I turned around with an intent to call Elisa to come along, but she looked so cheerless and down. Every musician should know when it's time to leave. I grumbled under my breath. Who is marching forward in a row? It is our pioneer squad. Pioneers in a row usually march to the canteen in the Semyon camp. I was looking for a place where no one would disturb me like what happened before, just so I can eat in peace. And for that I have to do at least not be the last one to come. Too late. But I was pretty sure whatever happens here happens whether I want it or not. The canteen was crammed as full as an egg. Olga was standing at the entrance, guarding it like a hawk.
Well, Semyon, were you working hard today?
Hard enough.
Well done, truly well done. And the hardest is yet to come.
I just bet.
Fine, take a seat next to the girls.
She pointed at the table next to the pillar. Slavia, Ulyana, and Lena were already sitting there. And next time we're going to have lunch with the girls and probably go to either the dance or the stage or whatever the hell else is going on that night. But we are out of time for this episode. Thank you for joining me. Come back next time to find out what the heck is going on. We still haven't learned much about what's going on. We haven't really learned anything that's going on. But hopefully next time we'll get a few more answers. Here's to hoping. But yeah, until next time, go be creative. I wanted to distract myself with a pointless conversation. Electronique was just about to answer when Ulyana came out of nowhere and started jumping around him.
Prizes! Prizes! I hear something about prizes!
So if it comes up with a reference and I try to see the whole thing, it just auto-skips. That's kind of frustrating. I'm not gonna lie.
A what? No.
You'll understand when you grow up. She made a wry face and jabbed Electronique in the ribs.
So what about the prize? Well, I don't know. It's not up to me.
He made a helpless gesture. Really? If they came up with this stupid game, at least they could give the winner a chocolate medal or something. Ulyana suddenly jumped and raced off to somewhere. I wish I was that optimistic. So, what about the rule servant? I still don't have confirmed voices for these people. He bowed to me jokingly. This made me uncomfortable to the point of squirming. And why in the world am I among the players then? I was disappointed. A few seconds ago I thought I still had a slim chance to evade this tournament. Then I wouldn't have to fear Elisa's revenge for losing the bet with her. But no, this style, we'd have to beat at least 2 people. Goodness. But now that hope was gone. It was pure coincidence. Yeah, right. Coincidence. Except that I was already acquainted with every one of the contestants. While there were a few dozen other pioneers standing in the room. I was seized by anxiety. It's the feeling of being watched while standing in an empty room with no windows or doors. Will there be a prize? I asked him lazily.
Wait a bit. Not everyone is here yet.
I looked around the canteen. Elisa, Slaviana, Lena, Miku, and Shurik were here. Seems like everyone is here.
Not everyone. Xenia isn't here.
Does he feel uneasy, or is it just me? She's not here, so what? Pick someone else instead.
No, I can't do that.
He answered slowly. I decided not to ask exactly why he can't do this. Well, go fetch her or something. I don't know.
He can't go. He's the host of the event.
The camp leader appeared as if from nowhere.
But Olga Dmitrievna...
Electronique whined.
Semyon, will you go?
Greetings and salutations, ladies, men, folk, and all other viewers out there. Welcome to another episode of Game Break, an ongoing series where me and my crew play some video games while we're taking a break from our creative endeavors. I am Charles, coming to you today with another episode of Everlasting Summer. Now, last time round, we actually got to see a bit more of the Pioneer Camp, checking out some of the club rooms, the library, and the infirmary, which was a bit odd. And we left things off just before a game of cards was about to take place, and we made a bet with Elisa that we would win so that she wouldn't spread dirty, dirty lies about us. So let's dive right in and see just what the heck is going on and how are we going to win this game so we don't get in bigger trouble. Load. And we're back. Inside, everything was ready. A few pioneers stood here and there chatting. The tables were moved out of the way to make room for players and spectators. I looked around. Something was going on in the far corner. When I came closer, I saw a large piece of paper with a diagram drawn on it. My name was among the players. Great, so it's going to be a tournament style. Who came up with all this? I patted Electronic, who was standing near. Well, of course, I was your most humble